Yeah, kid. You know how we do. We back from earlier. Alright, look like we live. Pop, what's up? Alright, let's get it. Let's start the show. We ain't waiting for no people because not that many people be rocking with us, but it's all good. Let's get it. Yes. Yes, 2 times. Yeah, I know the vibes. She like, ooh la la,
Oui, oui, ooh la la, oui, oui.
we go ooh la la.
Oui, oui,
She like,
ooh la la, oui, oui.
on a Monday.
Ooh la la, oui, oui.
Let's go.
Ooh la la, oui, oui.
Let's go.
Ooh la la, oui, oui. Ooh la
La. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop up out the bed like where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then the real question is, where you been? Because we've been rocking over here on my side for a little while now. We deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, interviews sometimes when the people don't be acting flaky, Popovisms 101, and of course, motivation. So before you jump off the page and usher to the left, electric slide to the right, I'm going to need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time and you've been rocking with the channel, good luck. But you know how to do. You know how I plainly start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We ain't in the end game now. And we is in the end game, people. We in the end game because it's Monday. Monday motivation, motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not. And here goes some motivation for your ass. The man in the mirror, the lady in the mirror, she is your worst enemy or your best friend, depending on how you view it. And I often quote Kendrick Lamar, it was always me versus the world until I found out it's just me versus me. You know what I mean? Like it's you versus you. It's not you versus nobody else. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with competition, gamesmanship. You competing with somebody, obviously in the arena of sports, etc. But you're really competing with yourself. You're really competing with yourself. And that man in the mirror, the lack of motivation, the procrastination, the uncertainty, can you do it, can you not, the self-doubt. You have to overstep those things so you could be great. That's motivation for you. Don't cut yourself short. You can make up imaginary haters. A lot of us got imaginary haters in our mind. But when it comes down to it, it's really just us. Ain't nobody living with you. Nobody know your habits, right? Good or bad. What you do in the dark. It comes to the light in the sense of if you ain't doing shit, then it's probably going to show. So that's the motivation for your ass. Let's talk about this shit, though. We in the game. We in the end game. Rest in peace, Lenny Wilkins, right? NBA legendary coach. Tiff, what's the word? A lady. 83 or 84, I believe. And Paul Tagliabue, the NFL, commissioner before David Stern. Never know when you're gonna go. You might live a long, fruitful life, and you might be out of here quick. And you might be asking yourself, do you ever think about when you out of here? Your record deal, video out of here. Your Mercedes Benz and Range Rover, all that shit is out of here. Whether you 20, you lived in 90, you lived to 103. Like we be seeing some people on the news sometimes when their birthday roll around and they still good and they still got cognizance and they still can move around and things like that. So rest in peace to them. Condolences to their family, right? Let's talk about the big news. You know what I mean? Like, you might have seen me leaning in the beamer, floating off the top rope like Tommy Dreamer, feeling type comfortable, hitting these chicks with big, what we love to do. You not in my league when it comes to this money, like Max B, aka Max Big of L, like the wavy god, right? The Silver Surfer himself has finally come home, right? And welcome home to him. I'm happy for him. You know, to do what people say is 16, 17, 18 years, I think he said. And he wastes no time under a lot of the posters that I've seen. And I know Max, a.k.a. Charlie Rock, you know, from the block, from the neighborhood. Harlem is small. The movers and shakers make it even smaller. And so welcome home to him, right? After all that time. Riri, what's up? I want to check in. And we spoke about Max B in this sense, right? In the sense of not like the case and all that, but in the sense of how will the adjustment be coming home from that long, right? You get institutionalized, you caught in the time capsule, you know, Captain America, 40 years, 80 years, or whatever Captain America was on ice, right? You get put on ice, they park you, and I know what that's like. For me, 10 years on one stretch, right? And I know I'm not an angel. Certain things, it takes time to adjust. But anyway, I say that to say, under the comments, people is like, yo, he back like he never left, and woo, woo, and and I get it. You know, they just, you know, being congratulatory and basically saying that he seems to be like he ain't miss a beat. He came home, went to the Jet game, they end up winning, right? They end up winning. Even though they traded some of their best players. Go figure, right? Football not scripted and rigged. Playing the Cleveland Browns. You know, went to the studio, showed us a little sneak peek of the vibe or what's maybe to come, him and French. You know, they did the Coke Boy wave for a long time back in the DVD era. And real quick, because I want to talk about this for a little bit from a couple of different angles. Mainly the adjustment part and how will he adjust them. But also, from this angle in the sense of, you know, making mistakes. And while he was, I guess, at the Jet game, they was eating and shit. One of his mans was on live. Another man was talking about Mano, you know, Mano on the podcast with Jim Jones, right? And recently, what was spinning in the clip, and we spoke about it, as far as him not forgiving and all that type of shit. And we speak about Rick Ross in the sense of God forgives, but I don't, like the album, right? Humans be brave and bash with it, like, yeah, nigga, I don't, God forgive, I don't, nigga, I kill your family, shit like that, right? We know that we could be the most hideous. But anyway, that's his prerogative, whether he forgive him or he don't forgive him, that's they thing. But then he asked Mano, like, yo, could you know, rock with your friend if they was cool with your enemy? So he still label him as an enemy. Mano went into like a whole spiel of, you know, my friend, I couldn't do that, loyalty, etc. So anyway, Mano got a mutual friend. Again, New York is small. The double M's, the move makers, make it even smaller. You know what I mean? If you outside, you outside. If you one of them type of people. And I'm not saying that like a brag thing or, you know, whether you're not outside, you're not. Either way, it's cool. Don't make you less than or bigger than. But he like, nah, he like, yo, I'm with Max. You know, sitting right next to Max, and you hear the silence and, you know, people is trolling. So it's that part. I remember when I first came home, had the Nokia phone. I was pocket dialing people so much and fucking up because you're not updated. As the J Mills and DNA battle, update your resume. You're not really updated. Yeah, you was the man when you was, you know, back in the days. So it's back in the days because some people like, yo, I was in high school, now I'm 32, now I'm 35 in the comments. So, you know, that's a long time ago. So people, even though I understand the statement, he's back like he never left. Oh, nah, we're going to see some probably big mistakes and follies. And, you know, the internet is undefeated. So people already talking about his teeth and shit. And people forget how funny Max and Harlem niggas is. Harlem niggas is funny. So he like, I guess the person that do the fashion, like what you got on today, what's the drip look like? And he like, yo, we Louis Vuitton from the sneakers down and shit. Bigging the other brand up. He probably don't know no better. Or he just think that's a flex. And for some, oh, but you're black. That is a flex for a lot of us because we come from not having much. So anytime you could get a little designer, anytime you get a little Gucci, Fendi, Prada, you think you elevated, right? And that's cool because I was on that wave at one time too, and we been off that shit. You know what I mean? But he like, got the drip. I start with the boxes, funny shit. But people in the comments like, yo, you better get your teeth fixed and woo woo woo, who uncle is this? And then some people was obviously they fans. And again, he went to the club and definitely was like for the first day home, he did it up as you supposed to, because if you've never been locked up and you're familiar with my content, when I say that feeling, that's that feeling when you come home, when you roll 6 head cracks in a row, leave everybody fucked up. When when you have your first child or you graduate, when you study for something hard and people was doubting you, but you proved them wrong. That feeling, that's that feeling. So, again, I'm happy for him, but I hope he dodged the bullshit. People trying to pull him in. See a lot of people surrounding him. I don't know if they was there through the whole time or not. At one point in time, we was fucking with Mazar. Shout out to Mazar, engineer, producer type dude. We was in the studio some years back. He always held Max B down and shit like that. But seeing a lot of people, and obviously you're going to get a lot of praise, etc. But then it's this part, right? Because this is another angle. WhaT 100 seem like everybody that come home or East Coast niggas, right? It's always the East Coast niggas. When the East is in the house, oh my God. And they from the West Side. Pac said the West Side is the best side. Obviously I don't believe that. I'm from the East, you know what I mean? So I can't go there. Anyway, he on the Adam 22 podcast, basically saying this is not no new information. Max B allegedly, maybe kind of sort of telling, right, being a rat. That's been out there. I don't know if it's confirmed or it's been substantiated. People in the comments was like, niggas get online and say anything. I'm not surprised or shocked and amazed when you put the beat on, as far as WhaT 100 saying that about Max. But we'll see. But I had spoke about Max in the sense of how's the rap career gonna do. You know what I mean? Being a man yesteryear, now you coming home. It's the internet, it's streamers, it's a whole lot of shit that he's gonna really have to adjust to. You know what I'm saying? It's not just bounce back like you never left. It's the mental, it's the nostalgia when you run into certain faces that you haven't even thought about because they haven't been in contact, etc. Being around French and it's one thing to get letters and be on the phone and all that. And I'm sure he might have had access to a phone or two. Obviously, he's the wavy guy. So, CEOs and people in there, they be on it too. So if you got the right dollars, you could get something. So I'm so sure he's seeing Instagram, but it's, seeing it online and being still caged up, then coming home and free. And I'll just give you a quick example. I got visits when I was locked up. Not a lot, not as much as I wanted, right? And I know some people that never got none. So I was fortunate, I was blessed, right? So I'm not complaining. But from women, from family, I seen women on a visit, obviously, festivals where people come, you could do a little more on the festival than a regular visit when you're sitting across. Even some COs in Sing Sing, Green Haven look good. So you see women. But for 10 years, it's 10 years, nigga. You know what I mean? If you've never been, then I don't want to hear nothing. But when I came home, and I got picked up, my aunt and my cousin Marie came to pick me up and shit. I don't know if she's still watching. And I came home from Sing Sing, like the New Yorker Godfather, or the King of New York, rather, right? And when I first got on the train after, going to parole or, just got to go and do shit, when you locked up for that long and you ain't around people and then all of a sudden, it's not even no perversion, it's just the stuff that even probably women might go through for not seeing that much men except the security guard, the officers, or unless your boyfriend is sick, come through and you on a visit. When you around men and women now, and you know how New York train systems is, or any metropolitan place, Chicago, where the trains might get crowded during rush hour, etc. And you sitting down and some, two women sit next to you, or you brush a woman accidentally, etc. All these different things that you have to adjust with. Driving, always used to get lost. My ex-wife used to be like, damn, why it's taking you so long to, to get here? Why you always got to get directions? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Get your license late and you got to catch up to a lot of things. Stack, what up? Even if you was that guy or that chick before you left. So we hope he don't get caught up in the wave. We'll see if his career, takes off again and he create a whole nother wave. Then it's the Jim Jones factor. People bringing him up in the comments. Cam want to sign, 50 Cent taking jabs. So now, even if he don't want to be a part of none of that, you automatically, you don't got to respond. But what I'm saying is, you're going to be spinning in the clip, as I like to say, because other people was trying to, throw your name out there into a trick bag or, put you involved in something that may even use you. Like 50 Cent was telling Jay-Z at one time about Beanie Siegel when he was supposed to have signed him. And Beanie was like, yeah, I was going to sign with Gene or whatever, but, I didn't want to be used as a pawn. Because 50 Cent was telling Jay, like, you don't want the shooter? All right, I'll take him. You know what I mean? So, you don't know people's emotions. Not emotions. Agendas. You don't know what they really got planned. Is it good intentions? Do they really got your best interests at heart? Do they want to see you get to the bag? And then obviously he older now. You know what I mean? We all older now. If you from the era and you in that age bracket, you ain't no young man no more. So you got to move different. Because we all, if you in your 40s and you an uncle era now, right? You an OG, you made it to the stage. We got a lot less years in front of us, than we have in back of us. You know what I mean? Like, we got a lot of years in back. That don't mean you're going to live another 40. You might be taken out tomorrow, next week. I've seen plenty of people come home. One of my family members came home. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. My cousin David, a.k.a. Lotto. I think he did 17 years, something like that. All right? I think David did like 17 or 18 years. Same as Max. Came home 2 years later, if I'm not mistaken. Got real sick. Went up there to see him in Syracuse. That's where he decided to come home to, go up there, mess with his shorty that was holding him down. And he passed. Just like that. You know what I mean? You may not get that trip to Miami. You may not get to go to Vegas. You may not get to fuck all the bitches you think you're going to fuck when you come home, because the universe don't work like that. You can plan a picnic, but you can't predict the weather. It's an Outkast reference, and shout outs to them, by the way, because they just got inducted into the the Rock and Roll. I think it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Seeing Andre 3000 and Big Boy up there, and they performed and all that. So shout outs to them. That was the Outkast reference. Things that you have no control over. So that's why we need to live like every day is our last and be grateful. Let's speak about this shit though. Let's speak about Big Sean, right? And Janae Aoki, or whatever how you say her last name. A lot of people is talking about this topic. I guess it's trending now. And y'all know personally, even though I got to talk about topics on the channel and have content, when I'm not on the channel and I'm not going live, I could care less. I'm not even going to lie. I know he was dating her because they've been together for like 10 years. So they had a strong relationship. So it seemed. But now that it's spinning in the clip and new information is coming out, for instance, I didn't know that she was married when she got with him. I didn't know that, right? Legally married. So you left your husband to be with him, right? And I guess he older than her, maybe like 41, 42. I think she 36, 37, might even be 38. They got a kid together. I think she put the ultimatum out there, like, you either put the ring on it or our relationship is over. He decided to say, all right, picked up the phone like Harlem Nights, like, honey, tell the kids I love them, I'm never coming home. Get up out of here. Like, I mean, I don't fucks with you. And people are talking about it since, like, yo, she should have known. Some people is going, at him like he cheated, so what was she supposed to do? But I'll say this, right? I mean, every situation varies. Not one size shoe fit all, especially with celebrities, but they are just ordinary people. And to see them break up after 10 years, what was he supposed to do, though? and ask yourself this as a guy or a woman. You dealing with a man that's married, you know, not to say that people can't fall in love or out of love, so maybe y'all just hit it off and, you know, he happened to be married, she happened to be married. But if you leave your husband to be with him, or you leave your wife to be with another woman, what makes that person think that you're not going to do that to them? There's no guarantees in love. Obviously, in love and war is all fair. But what did she think? You know what I mean? Like I was knocking you down. We might have got feelings, and then we end up being together, and then we got a child together. But the ring and all that, I mean, I think he got more than one kid too. So it's like he already had baby mom. So what do you expect? And you know, Cameron and Mace, they was talking the other day, obviously about and I talked about it too. Devontae Murray, and obviously the certain women and these Instagram joints, they get recycled. And he was like, I don't see the infatuation with getting the leftovers. When you that guy and you got access to, you know, multiple women, different states, countries and shit, because your passport on pivot and you could do what you want basically because money is not an object, why do you settle for, again, the people in the same circle? Now some may be like, well, you know, they run in the same circle because they can understand the lifestyle. They can, you know, everybody don't have act like somebody at regular supermarket here. You may not meet a Big Sean. You know, probably only going to see him in the club VIP or, you know, maybe a certain place, a resort or something, and get close to him because they're just not accessible like that. But the chicks that's, you know, Instagram, or they got people in the DMs flying them out, got money, they can get to these places where these people is going to be. And then obviously they're on Instagram showing everything off. And it's all for sale, right? 50 Cent reference is all for sale. And so you end up meeting those same women. And it's like, every other city we go, every other video, no matter where I go, I see the same house. But we spoke about this. It's one thing to bust cheeks and, you know, keep it pushing. Then it's another thing to settle down, have babies, get married. And then now you attach to them, you look kind of funny style. You know, people are like, well, everybody is somebody leftovers in that particular post with Cam and Mace. But they missed the point of the post. These people are celebrities, they famous. So yeah, nobody's a virgin then unless you luck up. But what's the chances of that in today's society? Kids is having sex at a younger and younger and younger and younger rate. We're seeing mothers put their kids online. When you want to be a hoe, you sending, you know, pussy shots to, you know, boyfriends, etc. Seeing a few videos like that where moms put their daughters on blast. I don't think that's right, but we seen it, so we know that they're having sex. I know what I was doing as a young boy, you know, curious and playing tag and kiss and tag and all that shit. Then things escalate to a little bit more, right? So all that to say, like, you could pop, but why settle down? And everybody gonna be somebody leftovers, but not publicly, because y'all don't. I mean, I'm online. I got a channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Pop if it's TV, right? We live, we rolling, we unscripted. You know the rest. But if nobody's known in your neighborhood, and she ain't that much of a slur, right? Like maybe one or two, you know, body counts is they are what they are now. Yeah, she's somebody left over. You might be community dick, but nobody, the world doesn't know. It's a little different when the world knows. I don't think why that concept is hard to grasp. Like, you know what I mean? I had it, you had it, how many niggas had it? 5 rappers, and then you come behind and wife it up, you're gonna look a little suspect. People gonna be questioning your judgment like, bro, not her. Do you know what she was doing in the backseat? Gilbert Arenas and all that, Jalen Green, like, when you know these things, it's just kind of crazy to still go through it. And that brings us to this next topic. I ain't got a lot of time today. Got to get out of here. Today was my day off. Had to get up mad early. Unfortunately, real quick, this wasn't a topic, but it's a side note because this shit is relevant. Got a call early in the morning. Had to go for an unfortunate thing that happened in Harlem. Lady got stabbed up and shit. You might have seen it on the news. You know, domestic violence, mental health. You know, people is crazy out here. And, you know, crimes of passion. We don't know what really happened yet, but it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? You never know when you're going to get it. You never know how it's going to happen. And so rest in peace to the young lady. Condolences to her family. To get stabbed up 18 times is fucking, can't even fathom that. Because y'all know on the channel, I'm chicken shit. Seen a lot of shit, did a lot of shit, but like Drake, I want a quick death and an easy one. I'm not going to get on this channel and be like, yeah, I want to fall off a building, smash my bones and head into the ground. I want to be trapped in the car, burning up on fire. Hell no, I don't want none of that. I don't want to die like no horrible death. I don't. I just don't. I don't. And I don't think nobody does. Nobody want to die hard Bruce Willis. So anyway, rest in peace, though. But anyway, I had a long day. Got to have a long day tomorrow, etc. My night's still not going to be over. I got something to do. But anyway, that leads us to this next story, right? Again, with the athletes. Can't make this shit up. And again, I don't care about this either, but when it's spinning in the clip, we got to talk about it. So Megan Thee Stallion, right? We know that she with Klay Thompson now. To the beans. And Stretch, keep it going to the beans. They dating, I don't know how long they've been dating, but maybe a few weeks, a few months, who knows, right? When they went public and shit, I was surprised. I don't know if you was, but like, I didn't think this type of, I didn't think he was her type, and I definitely didn't think that she was his type. But anyway, that's their business. We speaking about it now because I didn't think it was gonna last. I'm not rooting for it to not last. Let's be clear. I just think it's an oddball couple, but sometimes opposite attract. But now allegedly they buying a house together. Can't make this shit up, bro. Like, you can't make this shit up. And she been with a lot of people, publicly known. So I guess he don't give a fuck. Maybe, she not his, it's just his turn. And maybe they'll be together forever, ever. Forever, ever? No. Forever, ever. And even longer than that, right? Maybe they'll have kids, grow old together. They be couples goals in the future. Who knows how this shit can spin? I don't think so. My money, I got $5 that don't last, but I'm not rooting for it not to last. So I said, damn, Klay Thompson buying a house with Megan in California. He playing in Dallas, Dallas, Texas. He was out in Golden State, obviously, until they traded him. And now he got benched for Russell Wilson. Not Russell Wilson. What's the name? What's this nigga name again on the Lakers? Let me look right now. What the fuck is his name? They playing tonight. What the fuck is this dude name? Oh, D'Angelo Russell. I said Russell Wilson. Thinking of fucking the Giants yesterday, how they collapsed. They fired the coach of the Giants like, you're out of here. Do you ever think about it? Anyway, D'Angelo Russell. So you a 4-time champion, first valid Hall of Famer. You could, argue with your moms. Argue and beat it up in the comments, as Marcellus Wiley would say, beat it up in the comments. But he's a Hall of Famer, first valid, 4 rings, one of the best shooters, that the NBA has seen. Obviously backcourt with front court or back court, however it go in the NBA. When him and Steph is phenomenal. They did great things out there, even before Kevin Durant got there, and even after. But you get benched, you're not playing well. He did have a lot of injuries, so we give him a slight pass. But could he be caught up in the matrix in the Megan Thee Stallion world of not bad juju, but it's the Tory Lane shit that's still hanging. He gonna be home soon, maybe, kind of, sort of. We still waiting for that appeal, just like we was waiting for mad long for Max B to come home every month, every year, every 5 months. Max B coming home, so is he gonna come home soon? Is he gonna do the full term? We don't know. But, what's the dude name? The party who was supposed to be writing for the Rock Nation, all the stuff that spins with her. You know what I mean? You caught up in that wave now, and that's everybody, no matter who you are, famous or not famous. And we'll get off this topic with this. No matter who you choose to be with, you can choose who the fuck you want. I'm not judging you. I'm going to probably talk about it on the channel, but I don't really care, like I said, outside of it being a topic. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm going to go about my business till it's time to do another show, and I got to look up topics. That's keeping it a buck with y'all, as we always do. If they got bad karma, bad credit, they've been with mad people, it's hard for them to stay in a long-term relationship. They easy to just, monkey branch, which is the monkey swing from one branch to the next nigga, on to the next one, on to the next one. You're going to be caught up in that wave, whether you're a good person, a bad person. Like, you're going to be caught up in your partner's aura, no matter who you are, who they are, because you're together with them. So what they got going on, you're now going to have going on, and vice versa. He seemed like a cool guy, fishing guy, boating guy, not really the club type of guy, and not even because he light skinned. Now people be like, he on some light skin shit. It's not because of that. It's not because of that. He just don't seem like that. He seemed like the, not even a square, and that's probably the wrong term because there's nothing wrong with that either. Just not her type. So will it work? Will it not? But now he caught up in all the shit she got going. And I just, hope it work out for him. Hope it work out for him. I really, really, really do. With that being said, let's talk about Antonio Brown, right? What was it, back in May, I think? And for a minute, I was, I came on the channel when it first happened. If you don't know what we're talking about, Antonio Brown, champion, Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's no. Then it went with New England with Tom Brady, and then it went to Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. Then after that, it went crazy online. People were saying he got CTE, too many hits to the head, bugging out, making a lot of wild statements. He was at a fighting event in Vegas, I believe. I believe it was in Vegas. Some shit broke off. He ended up fighting the motherfucker, throw up your hands. Guess got the best of him, the best of him got taken, right? He must have took a couple of shots, ain't like it, and couldn't let well enough be, which I get it, you know what I mean? Grabbed the security guard gun, allegedly, maybe kind of, sort of, and let off some shots, right? Think somebody was hit. Nobody died to my knowledge. If you in the comments and then you can drop it if you know. I don't think nobody died, right? But then I seen him on the podcast after that. I seen like, let me come, I had to come back and do another show and reference the show that I did. Like, I guess everything all right. Because I was saying he going to jail. Like, you going to jail now when the bus driver, I'm not laughing at the young lady, but when the young lady spit on the bus driver, and he the uppercutted the shit out of her. You going to jail now? This bitch spit on me? Yeah, bitch. You going to jail now after I fucking uppercut the shit out of you, throw you off my bus for being disrespectful and spitting on me, right? I said, he going to jail. There's no way in hell you on camera, you famous, you not letting off no shots like Sean in the club, and you shooting the club up, and one of these ladies should be having my baby, and get away with it, especially after all of the crazy shit you seem to be saying online about the small hat people and all that. Like, y'all know you've been spinning in the clip a lot. And I'm like, damn, he just out freely, doing whatever. But anyway, I think 2 days ago, or maybe not, because this show was, I think today is Monday, so maybe it happened like Saturday or whenever it happened, you know what I'm saying? He got extradited back from Dubai. He was in Dubai, out there with the sheikhs and the sheiks. And I think he going to jail. There's no getting around it. Even if if you're in a stand your ground state, and the weapon is on you, etc. Somebody try to harm you or whatever, then you probably gonna get away with it. Especially if it's another black man. But you're black, because they don't really give a fuck about us. We can kill each other, hang each other, lynch each other, do whatever to each other. They sit back eating popcorn like, I'm just here for the comments and watch the views of this shit, right? World star. If it's the other or somebody from the other, then yeah, you're gonna have a serious problem. We know this. But you reach for the gun, after the tussle was over. You out of control, you in your emotions, you gonna get back at niggas, because niggas try to take your chain and steal on you and all that. And no emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? 5 seconds of, 30 seconds of anger, even 10 seconds will get you 20, 15 life in prison. And how did I get life in Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence? You got life behind bars because you wasn't smart enough. You couldn't control your emotions. You didn't recognize the triggers, and nobody maybe was around you. Sometimes same way if you're a driver. When you go to defensive driving and shit, all the courses they teach you before you ultimately get on the road and you get experience. But they tell you got to drive for other people, and you got to be a defensive driver. You know what I mean? To not just be go in the lane, because people do crazy shit. So you got to be ready to 52 block. Sometimes you may not be that driver, but if you are the breadwinner, you are the star in that circle of people, and people depending on you, the yes men's around, mostly, or your manager, whoever, your cousin and them, they supposed to have your back. They don't supposed to let you crash out. And I get it, sound fucked up, because some of them people depend financially on you. So if you go down, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Happy Monday, Monday Motivation, Motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not. Hope everything good with you. They gotta protect you. Sometimes you don't, you gotta protect your kids and the innocent and the weak. And sometimes people are weak mentally. They don't have that testicular fortitude. They may be tough. Yeah, we could bust a gun. I'll stab you. I'll jump you. I'm with my niggas. I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off. But like Styles P said, every crew got killers. Won't you pull a few Urkels out? Niggas ain't smart. Niggas can't think. That's why niggas stay stuck. And you in that same circle or orbit. And you know what they say. A lot of people don't like to hear this, but a lot of us are who our friends are. A lot of us are who our circle is, the people we around the most, the people we give the most energy to, and that we draw the most energy from. Person you on the phone every day. If they ain't elevating, trying to get better and what have you, then you probably not going to be able to do it. Not saying it's not, that's the case for everybody. But again, we spoke about this on Friday's show. If you are trying to do a little better and you're around people that's not, when you express that out loud, they going to shoot you down. Bang, bang, I shot you down. Bang, bang, you hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I used to shoot you down. They're going to shoot you down, bro, sis. Because you want to go back to school. You want to, stop using drugs. And weed is a drug, so we'll just say that. You want to stop doing X, Y, Z. Get out the club all the time. You want to be back with your man and, be more time with your kids and your family. But your girl like, nah, girl, fuck that. You need to come out with us. Your man's and I'm like, yo, bro, you rolling with us or not, nigga? Lay down and get down. They feeding you negative energy, negative shit. So, you fall victim to that. So we got to be mindful of who's in our orbit, etc. Who's around us. Woo, 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 ah, ah, ah. And that's what I got for y'all. And I know it's a short show. I got shit to do tonight. Just wanted to jump on and give a little feedback, talk about some trending shit. Once again, shout outs to Max. Happy he home. Rest in peace, Lenny Wilkins. Rest in peace, Paul Tagliabue. Antonio Brown. You get what you get. You get what you put out there. We gotta be better thinkers. Big Sean and Klay Thompson. Relationships don't work out as we often want them to, or how we think they supposed to play out. That's why you got to choose wisely, be smart. Just don't attach yourself or let anybody just attach themselves to you and bring you down. Take your peace away. Peace is, peace of mind is priceless. I don't care who you are. You can have all the money in the world. You ain't got peace, then you have nothing except money. That's why most people off themselves, etc. Not most, but we see famous people who we think have it all success-wise because they got money, they famous, they on TV, they spinning on the radio or whatever. And when you hear about, they killed themselves, like, wow, you're totally shocked. You're like, damn, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And it happened because they have no peace. They wasn't right mentally. So let's keep that in mind. But y'all know who it is. It's your guy, Popovich. Y'all was just tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling back up in here one more again. Yeah, kid. Be safe out there. Stay safe.